I'll ask Tammy Borough, our treasurer, do roll call, please.
Chuck Childress.
Here.
Sean Russell.
Here.
Mayor Charles Wyatt.
Here.
And coming in.
Here's Johnny. No.
Morning, Johnny.
Attorney
Hey,
Mark
good.
Phillips.
Present.
You do have a
All
quorum.
right, we got a quorum. Though I just want to remind everybody that this meeting is being recorded, and your participation in this meeting is your consent to be recorded and rebroadcast on the city's YouTube channels. And with that, those that'd like to join with me in the Pledge of Allegiance, please do so at this time. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Moving to mayor's updates. Our focus here a little bit, here lately, the last few days of pretty weather has been on our city pool. A lot of progress is going on there. There's a lot, it looks like a sea of ants over there working, so they made a lot of progress trying to get that building under roof so they can work on it all winter. So that's my update. Citizens' concerns, I have Samantha Kirk at 925 Maxwell Road. If you'd like to address the Board of Works, if you do so, come forward and speak into the microphone right there. You're fine, you're fine, you're
State your
fine.
name and address.
Name and address.
My name is Samantha. I live at 925 Maxville Road. I'm here to discuss the lack of communication from Viola on Wednesday of last week. I was at my kitchen table when I looked out the door to see a backhoe digging up my front yard. No knock on my door, no notice given the days leading up to. Instead, my water was off and we had more questions than answers. At first, I had no idea who the men were, but then a truck did arrive shortly after across the street. I then called the hall, who directed me to call Veolia because she had no idea what was going on either. The lady at Veolia reminded me that she didn't have any control over it and transferred me to her supervisor. He was apologetic that his team didn't knock. However, is a knock the day of the only communication that citizens get? What if I hadn't been home? I came home to my yard was a mess. I had no idea who was there. No note left on my door, no nothing. All of this to say that I believe that homeowners deserve better. Communication goes a long way, and I think having your yard dug up is deserving of a mailed letter and or a phone call.
Thank you. Yolanda?
So I believe this one was, were you on the disconnect list that week?
That was prior.
Right,
That was prior.
so-
So supposedly they found a leak around our meter.
Your shutoff was broken. When they went to turn it back on, your shutoff snapped. So,
Okay, but-
and Daryl was very sorry, and we have retrained the boys to knock on the door.
But what if I wasn't home? That's
It
my
wouldn't have
question.
affected anything in
My
your
front yard was
house.
dug up. I wouldn't have
Right.
known what was going
Well,
on.
around your meter, and we're sorry about that, and we will let you guys know, but it was an emergency, because if you were to have a leak in your house, your meter wouldn't have been able to be
We
shut
didn't have
off.
a chance to move any of our Halloween decorations, nothing. We knew nothing of what was going on.
Were your Halloween decorations bumped or messed up?
They were
at
all removed, like the
Okay.
blow-ups, the strings and all were just tossed up by the flagpole.
Okay, well, I didn't know that one either, but I do know that Daryl spoke to me about it, and he retrained his guys to knock on the door, but it was more of an emergency situation than,
But our phone call
So-
even?
well, we don't have any phone numbers for a lot of things. So that's one that the ladies are working on as well, right, to getting phone numbers for updates?
I can speak to that,
Sure.
Samantha. I know that this month, in our December letter, we're asking everybody to update their phone numbers, because a lot of people, they never change them. And then
We'll
the
pass
ladies
on.
there, they monitor daily, water usage, like if you had a high water usage, then they'll try to call you. But if they don't have a number to call, then,
But see, we had a phone call not too
Yeah.
long ago saying, hey, did
Yeah, I'm
something
not-
happen with your
No,
water
that's just
usage?
yeah.
Because that was a couple months ago, like
Yeah.
over the summer.
Yeah.
So my phone number is correct.
yeah.
My husband's phone number is correct on file. Nobody called. No note left on the door, no nothing, no communication, period. And
I don't think that you're hearing any
No, we're,
excuses.
yeah, no, we're
And,
really
because
sorry.
that is not our procedures for how to do those things. I know that Viola, that's not your
No,
standard.
normally we'll knock on the door if no one is home. We will proceed because we have to fix your shut off. It was, like I said, we snapped it and disconnects. So if we were to had to have an emergency, then that would have.
I mean, I don't know other than an apology, what we can do other than try to retrain our
I'm
people.
not saying that apology's not, like, I'm not
Yeah,
unwilling, how am I trying to say it?
yeah. We
I think
need,
anybody would have been frustrated to come home or to look out their front door and seeing a backhoe digging up their front yard. And then there's a big old pile of dirt in my front yard right now.
Did you see
that-
locates? Did you see like flags in your yard? 'Cause
I
it
saw
would've been-
orange paint across the street, and that's what Viola, the supervisor, told me. He
That's
said,
what I was
did that not
wondering.
signal anything to you? There's orange marks everywhere right now with the streets being worked on behind me on Parkview and everywhere else.
I
That
agree.
signaled nothing to me.
I agree with that, but it's unfortunate it happened. I apologize on behalf of the city.
We do as
I
well.
know that
Yes.
that is not their standards.
We
They're
will be back
they're-
as soon as the road and the yard settles, we'll be back to fix the yard. But I would like to make an address about the Halloween decorations. I will make sure that the boys,
Well, I will
No.
take care of that. I will do
No,
all
I-
that.
I
But
just
it
didn't
just
know
would have
they
been
knew that.
nice, again, to have known prior,
Well,
and I could have moved it all.
This is the feedback that we need when we fail. This is how to get us back on track. I appreciate it. Sorry it had to happen, Samantha. Any other, Angie, were you wanting to speak?
No, I'm just here just for fun.
Okay,
Just for fun.
just for fun. Under old business, you've got on your, in front of you, Gimlish water line. There's no action there on, happen. Update on demo on 3rd Street. Mr. Phillips, you want to handle that?
Yeah, so I found out my office did not send a letter to Jordan Eigner to resume demolition, and I can't tell you why. But that's hopefully going to go out, if not this afternoon, first thing in the morning. I do not know why it was not sent out. I take responsibility for that. And so that will happen. That's the only thing I can tell you. I do want to respond to a post that was forwarded to me. I'm not a big social media guy, and I really don't, frankly, give a whole lot of airtime to things that are posted, but I've received a post under the heading of Stoner's Grill, and I want to read this into the record, and then I want to offer a couple thoughts and comments. First of all, and this was either late last night or early this morning. It says, I don't say a lot on here right now because there's so much I'm not allowed to make public and don't want to have to watch every word I say. However, I feel an update is overdue, so I will share what I can now. After many weeks of preparation, asbestos testing, disconnecting utilities from the building, it's set to the demo work on Stoner's Grill scheduled to begin on Friday, November 21st. We are now only waiting for Centerpoint to complete their work order before the demo can begin. I'm sure work will begin on the building next door, Sassafrassi's other building, before the work begins on ours. It's a disappointment that we are being fined by the city on a daily basis for something over which we had no control. Parentheses, which is what the mayor referenced in his monthly letter that was enclosed for water utility bills this month. And insult to injury is attempting to charge retroactively. We have had no control over the sequence of events since day one. That being said, please say a little prayer for us. We continue to navigate through this situation. We love and appreciate the continued support and prayers. Two things I want to say in response to that. One is, the city of Boonville did not create a situation that's occurred at 3rd Street. In fact, the city of Boonville, upon our learning that there had been deterioration in a building, and then the securing of that location from the public, we issued, as our ordinance requires and as the imminent danger statute demands, that certain work be done by a certain date. And the owners of those buildings chose not to act on those requests. And the lawyers that got involved have effectively, up to this point, been the primary reason why that work did not move forward. And the idea that the city would selectively impose fines or do so in or in an inappropriate fashion is just not only untrue, but it creates the impression that we do that on other things as well, and we don't do that. So the fines that have accrued and that continue to accrue are because of the public safety issues relating to those structures and the obligations that those owners have to remediate those structures in a timely fashion so that the public won't be affected, that street won't be shut down, and people won't be in danger in the event that they attempt to either use or go in the area of those properties. So it's offensive to me, Mayor, that you would be accused of arbitrarily assessing a fine and penalty that would be assessed to anyone had they allowed their buildings to be put in a position that they've been placed in. I just think it's unfortunate that people choose to reflect on stories that are not only untrue, but they attempt to place blame where blame is not properly found. So with that, it's my hope that they will finally get the demolition that they were ordered to be doing some 60 days ago. And then with respect to the retroactivity of the fines, this board stayed the imposition of those fines or the accrual of those fines pending their compliance with the demolition order and the remediation obligations that are imposed. And as of October the 27th of this year, that still had not been done. The board voted to begin the assessment of those fines as the property owners had been notified would occur in the event they failed to meet the deadline, and they in fact failed to meet the deadline. So the city's not done anything wrong, the city's not done anything arbitrary, and the city's not imposed any fine or penalty that would not otherwise be imposed on other property owners in similarly situated occurrences. Thank you.
Thank you. Board, anything?
I would say that I'm gonna, if they do start the demo on the 21st and demo those two buildings, and those two buildings are out of there, should we be fining Eigner's $500 a day for not getting in there and finishing our work? And I guess what I'm asking is we're holding property, and I have no issue with the fines at all. I was the one that made the motion. But I feel like we're holding other people more accountable than what we're holding ourselves. That's my feelings to it. We still have a trash building sitting there too. That's just my personal feelings on it. I haven't even seen a Facebook post. I don't do the Facebook thing. I just drove by there earlier, and you know, and me and Sarah talked, and then Heather and I talked, and then Tammy and I talked, and I feel like that we're at a spot now, especially with, you know, I truly thought that this demo on our end was supposed to start a couple of weeks ago, and I get that mistakes happen and a letter wasn't sent out and stuff, but I also feel like that we're possibly holding other people more accountable than what we're holding ourselves in this moment. And that's just my personal feelings. And, you know, I don't want to go overboard on anything today, but I'm probably going to have a hard time seeing those fines go through, especially if I have a motion and a vote, since we're sitting in the same boat they are.
That's fair to express your opinion. Chuck, you got anything?
No.
Okay. Moving on, the next business that I've got is award of the towing and recovery service. I think that we were wanting you to review it.
I did.
You reviewed it, and yeah, it was just, you reviewed the proposal, and everything appears to be in order. The proposal can be acted upon tonight. So, I mean, we voted on this with I believe that we took in our consideration, am I correct there?
Yes.
I think
So
you
we
took it
now-
under advisement.
Advisement, so now we can act on it since.
Yes.
Okay, what's your pleasure, board?
I'll go ahead and make a motion to award the bid to Hammer's Towing and Recovery.
And Mayor, before I second it, I'll second it and add with that, I think this is a good thing. I mean, it gives some good guidelines for stuff like that, and I will also throw in there, I had no idea how bad it was until it happened to me.
Yeah.
So I'll make that second.
Okay, I got a motion and second. All in favor of that motion and second signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. Ayes have it. So we can pass that along to our police and fire, so they know what's going on if they happen to have to call somebody. Under new business, contract for Seagrave Marauder rear mount aerial. Is that you, Stephen?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
So we've been talking about this for a little bit, and we knew we had extended times on this, but our current ladder truck is 26 years old. A build time for a new ladder truck is 1,500 days, so a little bit over 4 years. So by the time that truck is done, our truck will be a little over 30 years old. It is recommended by NFPA that ladder trucks are, frontline ladder trucks are taken out of service after 20 years. I mean, we continue to have the test, ours is still passing and everything, but we're getting close to reaching the end of life on that ladder truck. So if we don't do something, as far as getting the contract signed, getting the truck ordered, because of that extended build time, I'm afraid we'll get to the point where we won't have a ladder truck.
Well, obviously, I think that you've got a dollar figure for that, if you'd like to share.
Yeah, like I said, it's 1,500 day build time. Price on the contract right now, $2,389,525.
It's a lot of truck.
That is a lot. And nothing special on the truck. Our current truck's 75 feet. What we've found with a lot of, like the newer apartments and stuff being built with vehicle parking in the front, we got a little further setback. So the 75-foot ladder doesn't necessarily always get us to the point we need to get to reach the top floors. So we did go with a 100-foot ladder on this one, but other than that, it's very similar to the current truck that we have, just a little bigger ladder.
Obviously, that's quite a bit of money, and obviously Senate Bill 1's sitting there facing us. Would we try to set a goal maybe after the first of the year to see?
I do know that in December, there is going to be a price increase.
There'll be one anyway in 1,500 days too. I got an idea. But would, you being the clerk treasurer, would we have a little better idea after the first of the year?
I don't think we will, because we're not gonna know anything until the legislation. That's March, April. I mean,
I thought they was gonna have a short session this year, the end of February.
no, maybe, I don't know.
It is.
Because it's a non-budget year.
Can I ask a couple questions?
So right ahead.
So, a couple of things when I read this. The first one is, in paragraph 5, we don't pay tax.
Correct.
And so it would need to strike payment of any such taxes or responsibility of the purchaser. Secondly, does our current truck have value, and do we get value? Is it also a Seagrave truck?
It's Emergency One is the current brand. E1, they're out of Ocala, Florida. Seagrave's out of Wisconsin. It would have very minimal value, I think, just because of the age.
So we couldn't trade it?
I don't think so.
What do we do with that truck when we're done with it?
We would probably have to try to get a hold of one of the apparatus manufacturers that purchase used apparatus, and it'd go through a refurbished process, get a new ladder on it, probably a new motor, new wiring, and then they would try to sell that, I'm assuming. I mean, so we could gain a little bit of money out of that by selling, a used apparatus to one of those companies.
And then the other question I have is, this doesn't say that we're locked in on this price.
Correct. Yeah, they will not, that's what happened to us, I think in 5.1.
Yeah, on the two
Doesn't
tanker.
include the impact of tariffs or imported goods implemented since January 1st, 2025, blah, blah, blah. So basically, that's what happened to us on the engines is, as the cost of steel increased and as the cost of everything increased, then we had a surcharge at the end of that build time that we had to pay.
But we'd save about $120,000 by ordering it, remember
By ordering it
that?
before
Yeah,
the other
Yeah.
increase.
then they eat that up
Yeah.
on the other
I just,
trucks.
and we're starting to have a lot of issues with that ladder truck. We recently, the emergency lights recently went out on it, so we had to have those replaced. You know, alternators, brakes, the hubs had locked up on it, the front hubs locked up. We had those replaced, and then a short time later, the rear hubs locked up on one of the back officer side. And it's just age, I mean, it's 26 years old.
This is 100 foot, you say?
Yes.
Okay.
Now, dude, it would be through the HGAC buy program, how we purchase the engines and the tanker. Basically, it's equipment that's already been bid. It's like a state QPA. It's trucks that have already been bid and, through the bidding process.
I mean, it's something we need, apparently.
I do know without a ladder truck, it very negatively affects our ISO rating and NFPA compliance,
And that directly affects the homeowners.
homeowners
right?
and businesses.
Yeah.
So is there any way to like put a down payment on it to secure the pricing?
I can find that out.
I mean, because both of the trucks that we currently have financed will be paid off, right, in the 4 years? Instead, we done 3 years?
Yeah, we did three, so we paid for one engine, it's paid off. Did one finance for 3 years and then 3 years on the tanker, so those will both be paid off in
Yeah.
3 years.
So those are payments that we currently are making that we won't have, but
Yep.
But we bought those trucks complete. We didn't finance during the build, did we?
Yeah.
Well, towards the end of the build is when we got all the financing in place. They gave us a date and said the trucks will be done on this date, and then we secured the financing.
Gotcha. Because normal inflation's gonna add about 300,000 to that. And that's not including anything that we get hit with tariffs.
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I don't know if that would be an option. If we could see if we could put a down payment and that would maybe secure, I mean, I don't know, obviously I don't think they'll do that, but it's worth asking.
It would make sense to me for the chief to find that answer that question, but I would hesitate to make an outlay. I mean, if it's 5%, you're talking over $100,000 for them to hold our money, and it's not going to affect the price.
Correct.
Yeah, I mean,
forward.
only if it's not gonna make the payment
Yeah.
go away.
And because
Or the-
that's the thing with these, so if we sign this contract and we get placed in the queue, and once they get like a couple months out from starting to build our truck, then they order all of our stuff and get it in, and then by the time everything comes in and it hits, on the production line, then they'll start building, and within maybe 2 months of them starting the truck, it'll be done.
But I'm taking this as that with the 1,500 days, calendar days for the build, that we could write them, if we had the money, we could write them a check for $2.39525 million
And it
and
wouldn't
still
make
owe
a
$500,000 when it's
Still-
done.
Yeah. Just depending on what the material
Yeah.
costs are. And throughout, a 4-year time, their NFPA standards have changed, so they may come in and say, hey, now trucks have to have more emergency lighting in these locations because
Yeah.
we've had accidents, and so then that adds a cost on. It's just, used to when you ordered a truck, you would have it in 4 to 6 months, and now it's 2 to 4 years.
So what happens if our ladder truck becomes inoperable? What do we do?
Then we gotta look at renting one until this one's done. We've had to do that before when we had an engine
That's what I
wreck, and
thought.
we were down to one engine, we had to rent a truck. And it was a piece of junk.
I'll just tell you, I get all this stuff's expensive, there's no doubt about that, and I'm not taking away from any of our public safety or nothing like that. Just, I would feel a whole lot more comfortable is if this was 2 weeks from now or 4 weeks from now, whatever, and I'm hearing the clerk treasurer say, this is our plan of how we're gonna do it, rather than just making a vote for $2.4 million.
Well,
mean,
why don't
you know, all
we
in
then
one
take
moment.
that time out and give you the opportunity to do that?
I mean, you can do, I mean, city could always do a traditional financing.
Right,
Yeah.
and that's what we would probably have to do.
Yeah,
It would
so I
be just
mean-
like what we did with Linville.
If we're able, you know, over the next 4 years, if we periodically get money here and there that we can, you know, if public safety late comes back and we can set money aside and let that build up, to put a big chunk down on it and then, you know, finance the other portion or.
Yeah, the lit kind of spoiled us a little bit because we were able to, but now the governor's taking that away from us, so.
Well, and that's my concern, is that if you take what, 2/3 of the income from my house away, we're probably gonna have to make some tough decisions.
Yeah.
And that's what we're facing right now.
But I also feel that, I mean, in order for us to even get in the queue, we have to,
sign a contract and submit it.
Tammy, all I wanna hear is you're comfortable with it.
I mean,
If you're comfortable, I am.
it's like everything else, you know, it's just like at home, you prioritize what you gotta do, and if it's something that the fire department, we have to have, I mean, public safety should be our number one
Yes.
thing, so, I mean, I don't have a problem with it. I mean, I feel like we're just gonna have to, you know, if we do this, we're gonna have to give up something else probably, but, I mean, if Stephen feels like it's necessary that we need a ladder truck, it's not like we can just go out to the lot and buy one,
Correct.
like a police car, you know, or something, so. That's my
You know,
biggest thing.
If we don't have it, then homeowners are gonna get racked, and they're gonna like, why my freaking insurance go up $300?
Because we didn't buy a
Because we
truck.
didn't buy a truck.
Well, and I know the last time that we did, like he said, we had to rent, and I think it was pretty costly to rent the,
Yeah.
I think we rented it for 6 weeks and it was like $12,000 something dollars.
yeah, so,
Well, why don't we
And
take
still,
time out and
we
you
could,
know,
and
come
we could
back
do
in 2
something
weeks.
about getting Tammy to
Yeah.
get the finance proposal together, couldn't we?
And I,
Well, you, come on, Mayor,
Yes,
you won't be able to do that.
Okay.
Here's the problem you have. Because of the interest rate fluctuation right now, and not knowing what the Fed's gonna do, you won't get anybody to lock in a rate for 6 months, let alone
4
5 years.
most, what we found in the most
Yeah.
recent ones we did is they didn't want to do it until 30 days before the truck was
Right.
done.
So, you know, I'm not a math guy, but 1,500 divided by 365 days is.
4 years.
is
4.1 years.
is a little over 4 years. And so if what you're saying is true, realistically, you're not going to get a locked-in rate until
it's 30 days.
about 3 years from now,
Yeah.
right? So in
Even if then, I mean, usually,
late
Could be on the
late
whole 4
28,
years, yeah.
and it could be late 29.
2029.
So then
Exactly.
essentially what they do in February has no bearings. It might change the next
No.
February, and the February after
No.
that, and the February after
Exactly.
that, before we
No.
even get a loan.
so I have no problem with,
Okay.
if Stephen tells us that's what he needs, I think then we need to, I mean, like I
We
said.
did price another ladder truck and, it was a mid-mount ladder, so this one, the ladder comes off the back like our current truck. The mid-mount had a bucket on it and, it was 3.1 million, so we just threw that in the trash.
Yeah. Heather, you got something? You want to?
I just,
Heather, mayor's assistant, I was just gonna say, you can't save lives without a truck.
yeah.
I mean, the day is gonna come, we're gonna have to get it. You're gonna have to make the decision whether today, 2 years from now, 4 years from now, but we're gonna have the truck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If,
I don't disagree, and like I said, before we had the lit, we were able to get by, and we had a bond council meeting this afternoon, or this morning, and that was the thing that Tammy and I looked at and said, look, we made it before we had the lit bond, and we'll make it. City of Boonville's in good shape financially, and I know that Tammy, since 1996, she's lived through some tougher times. So why don't, I'd suggest that, you know, put something together and maybe at our next meeting,
I
act
will
on
have
that
to-
unless you want to act on it tonight. You guys are you're the motions. I'm just one vote.
Tammy's comfortable with it, I'm comfortable with it.
Is that the only thing we need to strike out of there is the tax?
Yeah, I would remove the tax and, you know, I could tell you to have some language that locks in
I think
the
that
price,
was-
but you're telling me they don't do that, and I get that. I mean, I understand that. And frankly, the other thing that strikes me from a legal standpoint is we have no leverage. So they're making these trucks for everybody, and the thing that I think becomes more relevant than anything is this is not a luxury purchase, this is a replacement purchase.
Yeah.
And then I would encourage the chief to see how we can recoup some measure of value on the existing truck if we can, separate aside from whatever action you take. But Mayor, it just doesn't seem to me that you're going to have any additional information that would make your ability to have a warmer and fuzzier feeling as to the financial side of this, because nobody's going to commit to anything that far out.
I do know that same tax clause was in the contract for the engines, and it was just whenever because I asked about it up there, I gave them our tax exempt certificate, and they said, yeah, we'll enter this into the system. It's no big
I
deal.
mean, the reality of it is, if I may, you can do one of two ways. Whether they take it out or not is really somewhat irrelevant, because we're not subject to it anyway. So, you know, as long as the final invoice doesn't include any tax, it doesn't make a huge difference.
Mayor, I know this hurts Chuck's heart to make motions like this, so I'll do it for him.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to approve the proposal and proceed.
I'll second, because we gotta have it.
Well, may I just,
Go ahead.
subject to
Yeah.
the availability of funds. And that way, I think, as a practical matter, you're doing what you always do and
Yeah.
reflects your concerns.
Yes, and this just puts us in the queues, all this does. Okay.
I got a motion and second. All in favor of that motion and second signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Ayes have it.
Thank you.
Let me take care of some paperwork here. Is this it?
Print your name. And sign it.
The last truck was $500,000 in 1998.
Have we got anything left
Hmm.
in the lid? I thought.
Maybe it'll come back between now and then.
I hope so.
It's the dumbest thing ever.
Is that it?
Yeah, because you're the only purchaser, so.
All right, next on the agenda, I think it's Stephen again, request for sick leave for Lieutenant Curry and firefighter Smith. Stephen?
Lieutenant Curry had surgery on October the 7th. He went back for a checkup. Everything's looking good. He is expected to be released sometime around the first part of January to return to work. So I hadn't originally come in and asked for any sick leave because we didn't know how long it was going to be. We kind of wanted to find out. So it's sounding like the 3-month time frame is going to be sufficient. He'll be able to return to work the first part of January. Do we need to do his first before we go to the other one? Or is it doing both together, or?
Do them individually.
You can do them together, individually, either way.
The other one, firefighter Smith, he's having to have surgery on both hands. He's had one done. He's recovering from that. It's about all healed up. He'll have the other one done December the 5th, and they expect that he'll be able to return to work sometime the first part of January as well. And he had his first surgery on October 27th.
With these two out, how much will that change your guys' payroll over there? If at all?
So they are on 2 different shifts, so that's a good thing. So realistically, the only time, which we're close to the end of the year and everybody's pretty well for the most part used their vacation time, so the only time we're having to use any overtime to fill their shifts is if someone on their shift calls in sick or is off on a vacation day, which I think between now and the end of the year, there's only like 4 or 5 vacation days scheduled.
Gotcha. Perfect.
I'll make a motion to approve the sick leave.
Second that motion?
I got a motion and second. All in favor of that motion and second signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. Ayes have it. Stephen, you're still up. Declaration of surplus Ford F-700 tanker truck.
Yeah, the Ford F-700 is 1991. I've included the VIN number. It's got a 1,600-gallon stainless steel tank with a 10-inch manual dump valve on the rear of the truck and a 300-gallon per minute pump. We did replace the pump in 2024, and but that truck has been replaced with the new tanker. And I know we do have, just over the past couple of years, we've had a couple farmers ask about that truck, and we've had a couple racetracks ask about that truck, wanting to purchase it. So I did have our mechanic look at it to try to get an idea of what he thought it would be worth, and he said he felt like anywhere between $5,000 to $6,000 is where he would set the minimum bid. So I didn't know how that works, if we need to take sealed bids, once that's declared surplus, and they get submitted to City Hall, I guess.
Sealed bid.
Yeah, and I would probably also put in there that it is not functional for emergency management
Yep.
use.
Yep, and so who do we get to write that? Can I write that, or, okay.
And then just send it to me before you.
You'll have to
Okay.
put it in the paper too.
Yeah.
as an
We are
action.
gonna take all the emergency lighting off of it, decals off of it, so it'll just be bare.
So, really quick, hey, Mark, say for example, those sealed bids come back where we're saying $5,000 to $6,000. Say those sealed bids come back, say there's 3 of them and there's 1,000, 1,250, and 1,500. We don't have to give that to the 1,500, do we?
No,
Okay.
Can we put in the notice that the minimum bid's 5,000?
you could just put that there's a reserve of 5,000.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well, and I was just kind of making
Yeah.
sure, because I'd rather donate it to a volunteer fire department than sell it for a quarter of what it's worth.
It just, the worry was it being
not
on the
safe to
street.
drive
Yeah,
fast.
Oh, okay, it's that
It's
bad?
getting,
Yeah.
it's getting, like, when you go over a hill, like
It's,
it's pretty dangerous.
It's
So
bad.
we wanted to get it somewhere where it's not gonna be running down the road with lights and
Gotcha.
sirens on.
Okay.
you could put whatever, I would put whatever limitations you believe
Okay.
for safety reasons. And then we'll add a disclaimer that, whoever, if this is sold successfully, the bidder acknowledges. In fact, what we'll probably do is have like a receipt
Okay.
or an acknowledgement and transfer of sale that they sign acknowledging that, so that the city's not liable. And as importantly, they don't put people in risk, notwithstanding our disclosures.
I'll make a motion to approve surplusing the Ford F-700 tanker truck.
Second that.
I got a motion and second. All in favor of that motion and second signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. Ayes have it.
And then you need to entertain a motion to advertise it for bid submissions, subject to the conditions and the reserve that the chief has indicated.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
A motion second. All in favor of that motion and second signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. Ayes have it. You're still up. Quote for server for fire department?
That is not me, that is Mike. I don't know
That's
anything about
Michael.
that.
Michael's smiling on that one. Go ahead, Michael.
Mike Dennis, IT Manager, City of Boonville. We had an issue at the fire station the other day where the new dispatching system went down. I was dispatched over there to look at it and investigate, see if it was on our side or the county side. While over there trying to diagnose it, was using the server. That server is circa 2012 and it is way past its life expectancy. Part of the security protocols on that machine is not good enough nowadays to work with the software required to diagnose the issue, i.e. a new server is requested. Sole source, this is coming straight from Dell. They build them as needed, so they are custom built per se, but this is the same model, the same basic layout as we just bought for the police station not too long ago. It's just updated to 2025.
Any questions for Michael?
No.
Your pleasure.
Making a motion to approve the $8,429.55 server request from Dell Technologies.
Second that motion.
You got a motion and second. All in favor of that motion and second signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. Ayes have it.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you, Michael, for your work.
Like it's going out of style.
Next, this came from Chief, he's not here, but,
He's laid out.
he laid out, huh?
Yeah, he's home.
Quote to replace wrecked police Explorer for $50,245. I believe a deer hit.
Yeah.
This,
Ran-
Chuck, you might know a little bit more about it.
Ran into the driver's side of the Explorer and totaled out the vehicle.
Deadly deer.
Yeah. Yeah, we got
And he,
33,000 for it.
I think that the chief went out and did some
He said-
exploring on,
He asked me to say that the vehicle that he has in line to purchase, that you and I have already talked about, is already fully equipped, lights, everything. Only thing we had to put in is a radio.
I know it's got very few miles on it.
299.
Yeah, so,
And we are getting $32,963
And
from
back
the
from
insurance
insurance.
company, so
okay.
it's a little less than a hit.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second that motion.
I got a motion and a second to approve. All in favor of that motion, second to approve, signify by saying aye.
Did you earn money?
Aye. Opposed, same sign. Ayes have it. Where you-
I just-
Thank you. Okay, Veolia quotes for replacement of well 6. Jill?
Sure. So well 6 is the last well that's not on the generator out at the well field. And the power pole is in disrepair. CenterPoint, the last time they put it back online, said we're not doing it again. You've got to either replace the pole or do something else. So I talked to Clint. He and Alan from Midwestern discussed it and said that I have enough room in the generator to add the last well. So this is to bury the conduit and put well 6 on the generator and replace its disconnect, which is in bad shape as well. And I've gotten the 3 prices, one from Lead Electric, one from Premier, and one from DEQ, who did well 10 for us. And Lead Electric is the low bid, so I would like to go with Lead Electric and allow them to bury the conduit, put the line from well 6, tie it into the generator, and change out the disconnect.
And that was for $14,556.95.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Questions for Jill?
No. I make a motion, we approve Lead Electric for $14,556.95.
Second that motion.
And Sean spent all the other money.
That's all you're getting, Jill.
Yes, second.
I know, I'm trying to
Second.
find something else.
I got a motion and second. All in favor of that motion and second, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. Ayes have it. Next, change order number 1 for J.H. Rudolph, $36,702.36. I think Clint sent a little note. Didn't he talk to you, Tammy?
Yes,
Okay.
he recommended. Here, I got you.
You got it. Okay, that one, okay. What's your pleasure, gentlemen?
So you need to approve the change order.
36,000.
Yeah,
36,702.36.
right first.
Make a motion to approve change order number 1 for J.H. Rudolph for $36,702.36.
Second that motion.
I got a motion and second. All in favor of that motion, second, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. That was part of our community crossings money, wasn't it? Okay, a
Yes.
grant. Thank you. So that's on here.
The change order is just part of this.
Okay.
So then when you get, you'll sign for both of them. Yeah, I thought there'd be a separate change order, but there wasn't.
Well, the good news is the heat works in here.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, I can
Really
turn-
good.
You want me to turn it down? Let me
Oh,
see if I can
no.
get,
Oh, no.
Heather's probably got it
I don't
turned
know why
up.
we wouldn't want to turn it down.
When I was taking my hoodie off, I was wondering how you was doing up there.
I'm sweating.
Okay.
Mitts, I'm sweating. Little Mitts, I'm sweating. Little Mitts, are you sweating too?
I'm good.
All right.
Next on the agenda, pay app number 4 for J.H. Rudolph, and that's for $229,650.
Caught up with you.
Yeah. It's,
$650.23, and again, this is Community Crossings grant money that we were secured.
we got 6 digits here, so I'll
Yeah.
save Chuck the pain.
Okay.
I'll make the motion to approve pay app number 4 to J.H. Rudolph for $229,650.23.
Second.
Second.
I got a motion and second. All in favor of that motion and second signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. Ayes have it. Next pay app number 1 for JBI Construction for pedestrian facility improvements on Locust Street down by McDonald's. $108,547.
I'll make a motion to approve pay app 1 for JBI for $108,547. Spend it out here in a second.
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 Wake up.
I got a motion and second. All in favor of that motion and second signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. Ayes have it. A little paperwork here.
No, Jeff.
Okay, moving on to taps. I think that's all. Is there
Actually-
anything else?
Yeah, Jeff has
Jeff
a
has
couple
something.
quotes that
Jeff.
came in at the last.
Okay, Jeff Floyd.
I've got a couple quotes. Just give you a quick history. I was contacted at the end of September by Lisa and Gary Mitchell. They bought a home at 1067 Northwood Drive. They had some trees in the yard they were concerned with, getting some quotes, and then it was brought to their attention that there was possibly a couple of trees they were getting quoted that are actually on the city property that we owned. It's between Northwood and Carlin. So I went out, checked into it. There is actually a tree and a half that would be located on the city property that is in need of being cut down. There's a large oak tree that's dying. And then there's also a cherry tree. The cherry tree, looking into it, it's actually half on them, half on us. And they've agreed to pay half the cost on having that removed and the stump grinding. So, gotten 2 different quotes. First one I got was from S&S Tree Masters, for the amount of $3,800. And the other one I had received was Scott's Transfer Incorporated Scott's Train Service, for $5,050. We want to see if we get approval for S&S to remove these 2 trees on this property for $3,800.
So the 3,800 is just the city side, it's really 7,600?
No, what it is, okay, so there's, the white oak is actually city property, totally city.
Okay.
The cherry tree is half on us, half on, so actually, they're gonna be paying 700, they're actually gonna be paying 800, and we're paying 800.
Perfect. Okay. Make the motion to approve the quote from S&S Tree Masters for $3,800.
Second.
Got a motion and second. All in favor of that motion and second signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. Ayes have it. You got another one, Jeff?
Yes, somebody lives station.
Is that the only one?
The only other thing, yeah, that's the only I've got here. The only other thing is, just for the record, the time has expired for the repair demo order for 807 North 3rd Street. So I will be proceeding with the notifying them of accepting bids for the demolition of that property. Probably looking at a month from now to have an actual meeting regarding that.
Okay.
Is, that, we got a homeowner though for it,
Yeah, that was
right?
the Walker property. He has claimed that he had a potential buyer out of North Carolina. Showed me a purchase agreement, but there's nothing that's been recorded or in county records. So I don't know if the gentleman decided to back out or what, but I have recorded the actual order and demo order and repair. So that would be the notification to a potential buyer, so.
Okay. Thank you, Jeff.
You're welcome.
Anything else need to come before we go to taps and adjustments? Jill, you got a report or anything?
No, sir.
You don't?
No, we'll just
Okay.
have claims at the end.
Go to taps and adjustments. Let's see here. Isabel Rodriguez, 1154 East Main Street. This is her second consecutive month. She's asking for $272.16 on adjustment of the sewer for, I guess, for a water leak.
Make a motion to approve.
Second that motion.
I got a motion and second. All in favor of that motion and second, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. Ayes have it. I'll pass this along here. Thank you, Chuck. Next on the agenda is clerical adjustments.
Make a motion to approve all properly documented clerical adjustments.
Second that motion.
We got a motion and second. All in favor of that motion and second, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. Ayes have it. Well, this says swimming pool adjustment, so
It's never too late.
never too late, apparently. 1212 Parkwood Drive, $93.43. Mallister is what she's asking for that. She's got her receipt.
Make a motion to approve.
Cool wizard. Second that motion.
I got a motion and second to approve. All in favor of that motion, second, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Ayes have it. I'll pass this along for your signatures. We've got one contract here, application. Jason Harter, 621 West Sycamore Street. He's $560.98, and he's asking for 9 payments of $62.33. And I think Tammy's got everything lined out with them, so.
Make a motion to approve.
Second that motion.
Got a motion second to approve. All in favor of that motion second to approve, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Ayes have it. There's no taps.
Hand me the claims, Chucky.
The only thing else we've got left is approval of claims.
Make a motion to approve all properly documented claims.
Second that motion.
I got a motion and second to approve all properly documented claims. All in favor of that motion, second, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, aye. Opposed, same sign. Ayes have it. Final bit of action here for the Board of Works is the adjournment, unless somebody else has got something. I need a motion.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Got a motion and second to adjourn the Boonville Board of Works. All in favor of that motion and second, signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Ayes have it. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for your work.
I remember you